What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Second Passport. What if I told you that there was a way you could buy any property in Ecuador that you want with no money down and no banks and no loans? Well, you can. Like we covered yesterday, right? The North American model of buying property doesn't really work down here because a lot of us don't have access to bank money in a place like Ecuador. So let's take a look at a deal I'm currently negotiating right now here in Ecuador. It's a 10 unit plex near the beach in Ecuador, asking $380,000. Now it's finished with 10 different apartments. It has several 2-bedrooms and a few suites as well in that 10 number. Now it's asking $380,000, but what I'm negotiating with the owner, and what you could too, for a property you might be interested in Ecuador, is to do a rent with option to buy. Now, I'll explain what that is in a second. But the reason that a lot of owners, especially of higher priced properties, will accept this in Ecuador if you explain it well. Right, you kind of have to sell the idea because it's a new idea down here. Is because there's just such a lack of liquidity here in the Ecuador market that higher priced properties will often sit on the market for months, years without moving. And sometimes an owner really just is a don't wanter and wants to get rid of it. So you can step in and offer, like I've done, to say it's a very simple concept, but you still have to explain it well for the Ecuadorian to accept you. And what you do is say, I'd like to rent with an option to buy at the end. So we'll sign a rental agreement, nothing more, for 3 years, but it'll stipulate that at the end of 3 years, I can exercise the option to buy at a set price that we set right now. And if I exercise the option to buy, I can then deduct everything that I've paid in rent for these 3 years off of what I pay you in the final purchase agreement. Now, obviously, what this can do is it can get inflation working for you, the buyer, because you're basically receiving a contract, a promise that you will be able to pay a certain amount in the future, no matter what, for this specific asset, right? So, again, it's a nice way to get in with low money, get inflation working for your favor, and especially to kind of test the business, because on this channel, we don't really buy real estate, we buy businesses. So, only when the business makes sense. So, it gives us an opportunity to kind of test the asset and see if it really can generate the kind of money that we're looking for it to generate in order to spend this certain amount. So the deal I'm looking at right now, again, the guy's asking $380,000, which is kind of a lot in Ecuador. But if we break it down, right, in this area, according to the research site AirDNA, because what I plan to do is do short-term rentals out of this building, right? So, like most larger cities in Ecuador, the occupation, it's lower than in North America for now, at least. It might come up as Airbnb becomes more popular, but in the low 40s, right, 42, 43% occupation is what a lot in Airbnb is what a lot of the larger cities in Ecuador and what this area that I'm looking at has as far as occupation goes, right? And at the average rate, nightly rate in this area that I'd expect to get for a property for each unit like this is around $50 a night as well, right? So taking those two factors, the occupation rate and the average nightly rate that I can expect, I could expect, if the place was full, $15,000 a month from this 10-unit plex at the $50 a night rate. But at the 42% occupancy, a much more realistic number, that would be $6,300 a month. $6,300 a month times 12 for a year, that would be $75,600 a year in top line revenue, right, before expenses. The deal I'm negotiating right now, the owner is very open to it, and we're probably going to close. We'll see how it goes. But again, it's looking good. I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you like this, don't subscribe and hit the like button below. Take care.